Hey, all my small good friends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day today. So what I have going on here for you guys today is my candle empties. As usual, I can't remember last time I uploaded a candle empties video, but I always post the dates below, and I tend to, when I edit, sometimes include how many days it's been since my last. I will say that I did let go of some of these candles earlier than I am filming this video. And that is because I just couldn't get to them before my trash night occurred. You guys know I like to get my empties out and don't like them sitting around for the week because I really don't have like an actual space that I can use to put them kind of hidden away. So what I do is I kind of leave them on the side of my counter in my kitchen for a couple of days. And after a couple of days, I've kind of had enough of them sitting there and I want to let them go. So what I did was film some short videos of those, and then I will just talk about those in this video and just show you the footage there so you can see what those candles look like. And hopefully you don't mind that. Let me know in the comments below if you don't prefer that, but that works for me as far as being able to get my trash out when I'm not able to get a video within a week. It's not so bad if it's within a week's time, but I'm not always able to do that. I do work full time. And so, you know, working full-time and doing YouTube a lot too, it can be hard to fit in things within certain time frames. But, you know, I keep telling you guys I'm doing my best. I really am, but it just doesn't work out sometimes. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing my candle empties for the last probably about 2 weeks, but I'll post above how many days it's actually been, stay tuned. Alrighty guys, as usual, I have a number of brands here. It's always pretty much the same brands that I purchase from. I purchase from Bath & Body Works. I purchase from Goose Creek. I purchase from Kringle Candle. I purchase from HomeWorx. Every once in a while, I'll throw in like something like Scentworks, which is basically HomeWorx as well. I mean, it's the Harry Slacken brand. And something else I may have picked up here and there. I do throw in a Yankee here or there. I don't buy a ton of Yankee these days, but I do have some in my collection, and I do pick up a new fragrance every now and then, or a favorite of mine. So you will find a Yankee here or there. In fact, I did record a video of a Yankee that I let go last week in my trash night. And spoiler alert, it's not the greatest review. Anyway, let's get started. I usually end with my favorite candle company, which is Kringle, but this time I'm going to start with that. So I am actually still working on this candle. These candles last forever and a day, guys. It's great for those of you who like that. And I know a lot of you do, and it makes sense because you're really getting your money's worth. But I'm kind of an impatient person, and which is why I really like wax, because I like to move on to the next. And so I like my candles to burn a little quicker. I know, it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't I like to get my money's worth? I know, it totally doesn't make sense. But I'm just an impatient person. I'm ready to move on to the next scent. And these guys, let me tell you, they last forever. So if you do like a candle that lasts forever, although I don't even know why I would recommend them, I can't, because they're discontinuing this line. So if you're interested in these, you need to go on their site and purchase them soon. Hopefully they'll have some great upcoming sales, because Country Candle is going away. Yes, I'm sad to say that. But yeah, these jars are going away, and this is going to be it. This scent in particular is no longer available, I don't think. I think it's sold out during one of their sales once people knew that Country Candle was going away. Because it's a good performer, it's a good scent, and I totally would get that. I could be wrong, so check their website, but I think it's gone. I'll try to remember when I edit this. Well, I will remember because I'll hear myself saying it. When I edit this, I'll post whether or not it's still available, but I think it's not. This is banana bread. As you can see, I still have this much left, which will probably be like 4 or 5 burns, seriously. I have been nursing this candle forever. I cannot tell you how long I've been burning this candle. But I love the scent. So I don't think it has scent notes on the bottom. I'm a liar. It does. It's banana bread, vanilla, and homemade bread. Very simple. That's unusual for Kringle. We don't usually get simple. This was a limited edition release, I think. I'll get it wrong because I never remember. But I know they did some limited edition releases for summer. It might have been. I feel like I have hair on my lips, so I'm sorry. I keep touching my lip. It might have been summer. It was a limited edition release. I remember that much. And it was a good hit with people. This is basically a banana. It doesn't say nut, but to me it smells like a banana nut bread. I would say it's not overly nutty. You don't get a lot of nut, but you get a lot of banana bread for sure. It's fairly authentic. I don't think I would say 100%, but it's one of the better ones out there when it comes to authenticity. I don't really get a candy vibe from this. I really get that bakery gourmand vibe. It definitely has a bready note. It's really good, you guys. It is strong. I would say the performance on this, easily an 8. I've been burning this in my kitchen. If you've been with me for some time, you know that I notoriously talk about how it's hard to set my kitchen. This not only sets my kitchen, it wafts into the way my townhouse is set up. I have 3 levels. I have 2 open-ended staircases. My kitchen actually has a staircase, that runs down into it. It's kind of a hard spot to scent. It opens up into my dining room, into my living room. So it's all one open space. I do have a partial wall that separates my dining room from my kitchen, but it's not even half the amount. So it's partial. It's very open. I do have a little bar that protrudes out, but it's still fairly open. But there is something about that kitchen. I don't know what it is. It is so difficult to scent. And so when I find something that does scent well out there, I tend to repurchase. Unfortunately, I won't be able to repurchase this one, but I do think I have 1 or 2 more in my collection because I love this so much. I bought more. And whenever Kringle has a great sale, I tend to pick up my favorite scents. And I do think I got this for half off. I believe the regular retail would have been $31. Sometimes the limited editions are more, but I think it was $31. And I would have gotten it for like $15.50 or something like that. But yeah, this was a great performer in my kitchen. It wafted into my dining room, into my living room. I have been very pleased with how well this has performed. And all the way down from the time I lit it, all the way down, as you can see, it's fairly clean. A little bit of soot has collected around that opening there. I find that not that unusual when it comes to these shaped jars. I feel like first of all candles are going to soot. You're talking about flame. It's going to happen. Some soot a lot worse than others. Kringle, I have the best luck with when it comes to sooting. Not all. I've found some soot monsters, but most of them do very well. For me, personally, I know everyone's experience is different. Your mileage may vary, but a little bit of soot around the edge there. But for the most part, very clean. The wax itself is very clean. The scent has not changed. The only thing I've had to do to maintain these is cut those tiny little mushrooms off on each burn, and it's done fantastic. Love this scent. Like I said, I would recommend it, but I don't think it's available anymore. I do hope that Kringle considers bringing this scent over to the Kringle tumbler line, so we'll see. That is banana bread. And I'm not done with that. I will finish it, but like I said, it's probably going to be 4 or 5 more burns to that. I probably could have held that over to my next video, but I'm not going to. I just figured I'd include it. All right, so the next candle I finished. Well, I'm not finished. This one is not finished either. So both my Kringle candles are not finished. This one, I probably have another 3 burns maybe to it. This is from the tumbler line. This is Leprechaun Treats. And as you can see, this was released for St. Patrick's Day. And they did release 3 different candles. I picked up only this one. I picked up 2 of these. I was going to go in and pick up the, not Shamrock Fields. My friend picked up that one, but that one's a little too green for me, and she loves it. It was the caramel one. I can't remember what it's called. Pot of Gold, I think it's called. Had really good reviews last year, and they brought it back this year. And I was a little concerned about everyone saying it was buttery, and I don't always love buttery, so I didn't pick it up originally. But then they marked these down to like $15. And I was like, okay, for that, I'll order it. And then I just never got around to it. And by the time I thought about it, it was gone. So I did pick up 2 of these, so 1 will be safe for next year. This, does it have scent notes on the bottom? Yeah, I just remember this having a lot of vanilla, and I was like, sign me up. So this is super sweet. Their scent notes sometimes are so odd. So that's a note, super sweet. It's more like an accord kind of thing. Very vanilla, creamy vanilla, warm amber, and more vanilla. I got a kick out of the scent notes. I was deciphering that to mean that this was a straight up vanilla candle, maybe with a little bit of perfume because of the amber note. That's pretty much what I get from it. I get a lot of vanilla. I get a lot of gourmand. I don't know if I straight up smell a cupcake, but I definitely get like a frosting note. And there is a little bit of a cake vibe, but not overly so. Oh, I love this. I feel like the reviews on this have been mixed. Some people had some bad sooting problems on this. I had some sooting. I did clean this jar. I did clean this, not right before this video. I probably had about 4 or 5 burns before I did the video. It's a little hard to see, but there's a little bit of sooting around the edge. I don't typically get a lot of that, but this is a vanilla heavy scent, and I just think that has something to do with it, probably with the wicks that are working with the vanilla scent. But I did, like I said, clean the jar once. I wouldn't lie to you about that. So I did have some more sooting residue on this than I normally do with a Kringle candle. So yeah, I wouldn't quite call it a problem child. And as you can see, the wax is still quite fairly clean for a vanilla white wax candle. So I am pretty pleased with it. Like I said, the reviews have been mixed. I've seen some pictures posted of people that had a ton of sooting. I do tend to burn my Kringle candles a little longer than my other candles, but I would say I never burned this probably more than 5 hours at a time. Most of the time I do them about 4, but I just usually don't have a problem doing that. I do try to be a little bit more careful with vanilla candles. I just feel like they tend to soot or get burned hot quicker than other candles. So I'm sure that has something to do with the vanilla fragrance oils. But this one, I would say the throw on this was a lighter scent. This is a scent that's not going to scent your entire large room, not your entire large open space. It's just not going to do it. This is more your small room. You could do in a nice sized bathroom. You could do in a small bedroom, but you're not going to smell it in a big space. You're just not. Now, I did do this in my open space. Sometimes I put it in a hurricane. Sometimes I just put it in a space where it was close to me, and I could get a whiff of it every now and then. But I enjoyed this scent. And like I said, this is not going to be your heavy hitter. Who knows if it'll come back next year. This is currently sold out now, so you can no longer get it. But I enjoyed it. I would say the scent throw on it was a 6. Sometimes it could be as low as a 5.5. It was a lighter scent, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good vanilla goodness, and I would pick it up again. So that is Leprechaun Treats. Maybe next year's version will burn a little stronger. I'm hoping maybe I can get a 6.5, 7 out of it because it's been sitting. But who knows? You never know until you get there, right? But this, if I could recommend it, I would. Did I show you the inside? I don't think I did. But when I was talking about that clean wax, as you can see, it's clean there too. Just like I said, a little bit of sooting around the edges of the jar. I cleaned it once, but other than that, I thought it did okay. And I was pretty happy with it. So that's Leprechaun Treats from Kringle Candle. Next up, let's do HomeWorx. All right, so we have Lotus Pear. And you guys know, I always talk about how beautiful HomeWorx labels are. They win in the label game every time. This is Lotus Blossom, Fresh Bartlett Pear, Lemon Zest, and Wild Mint Leaf. So this was poured in 2021. I thought maybe I picked this up from a discount store, but there's no tag on it. So maybe not. This here is straight up a pear floral scent. So a fruity floral with emphasis on the pear. I never detected this wild mint leaf. I never detected that the whole time this was burning. I couldn't have told you that there was mint in here until I read the scent notes. So, and I actually did read them before I burned it, and I was like, didn't smell it on cold. I didn't smell it on warm. The lemon zest, maybe just minusculely, but This is predominantly pear, a very sweet pear, a syrupy pear, and a floral. Lotus blossom. Okay, I was going to say, I know I smell floral. Lotus blossom. So it is a watery floral. It's a watery floral and lots of that Bartlett pear. I don't always love pear and wax, but I do think Harry does a really good job at having his fruits smell quite authentic in his candles. And this is no exception. I thought the pear was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. The floral was a bit too much for my liking, but that's just my personal scent preference. The throw in this was decent. I would say the throw in this was a 7.5. I did burn it most of the time in a hurricane. I did move it around. I did keep it pretty much in a hurricane in its entire life, even though I moved it around. But I got steady performance from it everywhere I put it. The performance as far as the wax itself, it wasn't too shabby. It got a little dirty, but that little bit of dirtiness didn't change the scent. It's still strongly a very sweet syrupy pear with that watery floral. It was a good scent. I think I may have one more of these in my collection. I may hand it off to my daughter's boyfriend who likes florals. I may do that because, like I said, it's just not a favorite scent for me, but that's just my personal scent preference. But if this sounds up your alley, I think you would be pleased with the performance. It is from 2021, so it may have been better performance back then than it would be now. And I don't know if this is even being released anymore, but there you have it, Lotus Pear. I didn't lose any wicks or anything like that, so I was pretty pleased with it. And then last from HomeWorx, I did Cinnabunnies. This was released for Easter, and this was released just this year. So this is a 2025, although it may have been bored in 2024. It was. So Cinnabunnies, this is actually a repackage. The scent notes are fluffy marshmallow, sweet cinnamon, sparkling sugar, and white cocoa. This is actually a repackage of cinnamon marshmallow. I have cinnamon marshmallow in my collection, but I have not burned one yet. So this was actually the first time I got to burn it. But the scent notes match, and talk is on the internet, it's the same, and they smell the same on cold. This had beautiful pastel blue wax. I love the colors. Very Eastery for sure, very spring-like. As you can see, the wax is pretty clean for the most part. What I get from this is a sweet, gooey, marshmallowy, hefty cinnamon scent. I feel like you have to like cinnamon to like this, but I do like cinnamon. I feel like it's a warm cinnamon. It's kind of a bakery cinnamon. The throw in this, I would say, not overly strong, but I could detect it. I did this a lot in my kitchen. But I also moved this one around a little bit too. I did it across my room without a hurricane, on my bar with a hurricane. I did it on my dining room table with a hurricane. I did it in my kitchen with a hurricane. It did okay. I would say the throw is probably a 6. So not a super strong performer by any means. But I could pick it up, like I said, when I walked into a room. It was a scent that could easily get lost. It wouldn't keep your attention for very long, but you would catch whiffs here and there. So I don't know how my other pours of this scent will do, but I enjoyed it for the most part. I really liked the packaging. I really enjoyed the fact that Harry brought out an Easter collection. I'm trying to think. I don't think I remember seeing an Easter collection from him before, but I could be wrong. I have so many candles in my collection, and I've seen so many candles along the way. It could have happened, and I don't remember, but I thought that was a nice touch. I did pick up 4 of the candles from his Easter collection. QVC was offering 2 packs, and they were each a different scent, which I appreciated because that doesn't always happen. And so I picked up the carrot cake, and then I picked up, there was a jelly bean scent, and I think there was a chocolate scent. So I don't know that I'm going to get to them all this year. So I definitely finished this one, and I actually am working on carrot cake. So you'll hear about those, but I don't know that I'm going to get to the other 2 this year. So I'll probably go back in my collection. But for the most part, I was pretty happy with this. Like I said, the performance was pretty good and clean, and I was happy with that. No loss of a wick. So I can't complain too much. That is Cinnabunnies. And the label. So cute with the bunny rabbits. So cute. Alright guys, last we'll talk about Bath and Body Works. We'll actually talk about Yankee too, but Yankee is one of the candles that I filmed, which I think I mentioned earlier. And Bath and Body Works is one of the brands that I also filmed as well. So I'll start out with the 2 Bath & Body Works that I have next to me, and then we'll finish up with the ones that I filmed earlier. So I finished up a single wick in the scent Tutti Frutti Candy. As you can see, I've been working on my Easter scents. I'm guessing this probably does not. I can't believe I left them on the whole time. I probably had a glare on me the whole time. I'm so sorry, guys. I usually remember to take them off. This actually does have scent notes. So this is sweet jelly beans, mixed berries, sugared lemon. And I would say that is a very accurate description. Very fruity. You kind of get like this lemon drop scent. Very lemon drop candy-ish. You definitely get a little bit of a jelly bean note, but it smells more sweeter than a jelly bean. Very sweet candy-ish scent. A lot of people have probably already smelled this. I think it was a very enjoyable scent. I've had it before. Very sugary, sweet. If you don't like sweet, sugary scents, you may not love it, but I really love the jar, and I think I got this as a freebie. I think I got this with a reward, and this burned down great. I was pretty happy because my single wicks tend to tunnel. This never tunneled. I never had a problem with it pulling out. It stayed clean the whole time. I will say that I don't particularly have a problem with my single wick sooting from Bath & Body Works. It's mainly my 3 wicks. Every now and then I get one that does, but they tend not to soot as much as my 3 wicks. This, I couldn't have been happier with performance. I don't usually give a throw number on my single wicks because they don't tend to be very high. They're not really meant to be. They're really meant to be in a small space, and I use them myself to add a little bit of oomph to other scents I have going on. A lot of times the same candle, but I didn't have a 3 wick going on here. I just had like wax melting that was like candy-ish. I think at one point I had like Sassy Girl Aroma's Watermelon Pop going, and I added this. So whenever I had a wax going like that, I added this. I thought it was great. So I was pretty happy with it. I actually could smell it when I was near it, and that's all I asked for. It performed fine. That's all I asked for. I would definitely have picked this up again if I still could, but I think this was last year's version, maybe the year before, but I think it was last year. That's Tutti Frutti Candy. Super cute, super cute. All right, and the last Bath & Body Works candle that I have here in person is Iced Dragonfruit Tea. I am not quite finished with this one yet either, but I am going to retire this to the crock. So I figured I'd go ahead and talk about it. So Iced Dragonfruit Tea, this was poured in 2022. This is Tropical Dragonfruit, Vibrant Green Tea Lemonade, and Sweet Coconut Milk. This scent is very tropical drink scent. That's exactly what it is. I get a little bit of that coconut milk vibe, but it's not very, very coconutty. It's more like that dragon fruit lemonade kind of scent. Very tropical, very drink-like, very much like a tropical tea. Very, very fruity. I enjoy this scent. I actually am still nursing the single wick, which is doing okay. It's not pulling out fully, but it's doing okay. I'm not terribly upset with it, so I can deal with that. This one is just starting to get to that stage where I have hit halfway, and this is the point that with the majority of my Bath & Body Works candles, it starts to go dirty. As you can see, it's just mild right now, and it still smells just fine. The scent has not changed. But if I burn this again, it will go murky, and there's a very good chance the scent will change. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this in my candle crock. So I've actually got a candle going in there tonight. So when that finishes up, I'll pop this in, and I'll coincide this with like certain wax, tropical wax that I may be melting. The scent itself I enjoy. The throw on it was decent. I would say the throw on it is about 6.5 to a 7. I can definitely smell it. I tend to have to do multiple candles in my open space because one candle is just not strong enough. Usually, every now and then you get a super powerhouse that does my open space just fine. But this one, this is why I have the single wick going too. That's one of those cases where I said I add a single wick to kind of add a little bit of oomph to the scent. But every time I was in the vicinity of the candle, I could smell it. I enjoy it, and I'll enjoy the rest of it in my, I was about to say crock pot, in my candle crock. So that is Iced Dragonfruit Tea. Alright guys, this is the point of the video where I will talk about those candles that I took video of previously, and so we'll get started on that. Okay guys, so the first candle up is Yankee Candles Strawberry Bunny Shortcake, and I'm going to make these really short because I didn't take a lot of footage. As you can see, the candle is just adorable. Super cute Easter release. The performance, not so adorable. As you can see on the bottom, the wax should be pink. As I flip this over, you'll realize that the wax is not so pink. Yeah, it got very dirty, very grody, and it absolutely changed the scent profile. This smelled so good at first. It was a great strawberry shortcake scent. A lot of you have probably already smelled this, but as I burned it, as you can see, the sides got a little scorched. The wax got terribly dirty. Very disappointing how this ended up because it started out so good. In fact, I popped out the wax, and yeah, you'll see it right here. Oh, it's just not good. So you can see the difference in the color at the bottom. I have another. There it is, bottom. I have another in my collection, so I will crock it next time. Next up is Iced Blueberry Biscotti from Bath & Body Works. Scent notes are listed as shown. This was a great blueberry candle. I've melted it before. I love it, or I should say I burned it before. Performance was decent, a little dirty, but you can see how far down I got. So for the most part, considering this was a Bath & Body Works candle, I was pleasantly surprised. Coconut Cream Pie, again, a candle from Bath & Body Works, scent notes as shown. This is a delicious, creamy coconut cream pie scent. I really enjoyed it. I have a couple in my collection. It was released a few years ago. We haven't seen it back. It was a little bit of a problem child. As you can see, the wicks are off. That's because it got the crock treatment. Oh, yes. It got dirty and grody and went into the crock. Last one, guys, banana Bundt cake. This was a great, delicious banana bread scent, banana cake scent, scent notes as shown. You can see this is an older candle with some oils floating around on the bottom, but performance-wise, it did pretty good. I realize I'm forgetting to add throw on these, so I may add that as text in the video, but yeah, I was pretty pleased with this one. Throw, I would say, on this one was about a 7, maybe 7.5, and I have more in my collection, and I would definitely get it again.